Mufasa, the Lion King. The film opens with a lush, sweeping view of the Pride Lands, depicting a thriving ecosystem where animals live in harmony. One morning, the Pride Landers assembled at Pride Rock, where Simba announced that his family was growing, as had been his father Mufasa's dream. Afterwards, he tasked Timon and Pumbaa with babysitting his young daughter Kiara, while he joined his mate Nala for the birth of their second cub. While Kiara, Timon and Pumbaa sheltered in a cave, a storm struck, which frightened Kiara. At that moment, Rafiki approached and told her that her father had been afraid of the thunder as a cub, but had eventually conquered that fear and roared from the summit of Pride Rock. Kiara expressed doubt that she could ever be like her father or grandfather, and so Rafiki decided to tell her the story of Mufasa's rise to kingship. As a cub, Mufasa lived in a desolate area with his parents, Masigo and Afia. One day his parents told him the story of Malele, a beautiful paradise where there was plenty of food and water. Just then it began to rain, and the rainwater filled a nearby ravine. Though Mufasa's family, as well as some nearby animals, initially celebrated the change of weather, the rain quickly turned into a flash flood that swept Mufasa away from his parents. Mufasa's fear stops him from joining Afia. He is swept away and soon meets a royal cub named Taka, who tries to save him from young crocodiles before Taka's mother, Queen Eshe, intervenes. Eshe reluctantly accepts Mufasa as her son, but Taka's father, King Obasi, criticizes Taka for welcoming an outsider. When Obasi threatens to eat the cub, Mufasa races with Taka to prove his speed. Mufasa lingers back due to exhaustion, but Taka concedes defeat so that Mufasa can be welcomed into the Pride. Furious, Obasi declared that Mufasa would live with the females, not the males. Afterwards, Mufasa and Taka bonded over their mutual desire to have a brother. As Mufasa and Taka grow up, they form a strong brotherly bond. While Eshe teaches Mufasa how to hunt, the land is assaulted by two white lions who attack Mufasa and Eshe, but Mufasa kills one while the other flees. Taka sees the attack but retreats in fear. Mufasa guided a wounded Esh back to the Pride, and they explained how they had been attacked by white lions. While Obasi told Mufasa that he owed him a great debt, he deliberately ignored Taka's attempt to apologize. Meanwhile, the survivor reports back to Kiros, the leader of a pride called the Outsiders, composed of lions banished for their white fur. Kiros and his sisters Akua and Amara swear vengeance. Just then, Chigari reported that the Outsiders were coming for Obasi's pride and had twice their numbers. In an effort to preserve his bloodline, Obasi sent Taka away and asked Mufasa to accompany him and pledge loyalty to him. Before the two young lions left, Eshe encouraged Mufasa to seek Milele and told Taka that his moment of courage would come. No sooner had Mufasa and Taka ran away, the Outsiders kill Obasi, Eshe and their pride before chasing Mufasa and Taka, who escape into a river. Though Mufasa attempted to stand and fight, Taka knocked them both into the water below, and they managed to escape down the river. Afterwards, they met a young lioness named Sarabi, who explained that her own pride had been decimated by the Outsiders. She then introduced them to her scout, Zazu, and a younger Rafiki. Rafiki tells them he is going to Milele to find a brother, and the group follows him there. While passing through the canyon, Taka confessed to Mufasa that he had feelings for Sarabi, and Mufasa encouraged him to speak with her as the Outsiders continue to pursue them. Sarabi uses bees to cause an elephant stampede to distract the Outsiders, allowing the group to escape. She falls and gets injured. Upon seeing Sarabi in danger, Mufasa dragged her to safety and repeatedly iterated, "I got you." Once the elephants had run off, Rafiki revives Sarabi, and Mufasa lied that it had been Taka who had saved her life. Continuing on, the group began to scale a snowy mountain. Mufasa instructed Zazu to hide their tracks so that the Outsiders could not follow them any farther. Zazu did as commanded, after which he overheard the Outsiders becoming frustrated by their inability to track their quarry anymore. He reported his success to his friends. and Sarabi attributed their victory to Mufasa, nuzzling him affectionately. Jealous, Taka stalked away. Meanwhile, Mufasa began to carry Rafiki through the snow, during which he remarked, "I got you." This made Sarabi realize that it had been Mufasa, not Taka, who had saved her life. Later that night, while Mufasa was hunting in the snow, Sarabi confronted him over the lie, deducing that it had been him, not Taka, who had smelled the duck flowers on her fur and saved her from the elephant stampede. Though he initially denied it in an attempt to bolster Taka, he eventually caved, and the two confessed their love for one another. From the nearby ridge, Taka watched the pair and became inflamed with jealousy, believing that Mufasa had betrayed him. A jealous Taka meets Kiros and his pride, offering a proposition for Kiros to get revenge on Mufasa for his son's death. The next day, the group reaches Milele, a lush oasis, with Taka secretly leaving marks for the outsiders to follow. The outsiders approached, and Kiros revealed to Mufasa that Taka had betrayed him. In an attempt to rally support to his cause, Mufasa convinced the animals who lived at Milele to band with him, as the outsiders would simply attack them next. While the other animals took on Kiros's pride, Mufasa battled Kiros himself. Though Kiros nearly killed Mufasa, Taka jumped in between them, taking Kiros's blow across his eye. At that moment, an earthquake split the land, forming Pride Rock and causing Mufasa and Kiros to fall into an underwater pool. As the two continued to fight, Mufasa sensed a large boulder falling into the water and hurled Kiros underneath it, killing him. Mufasa started to swim to safety, only for Taka to intercept him and dig his claws into his brother's paws. After a moment of hesitation, Taka pulled Mufasa out of the water. With the outsiders defeated, the animals began hailing Mufasa as their king, and Rafiki insisted that it was his destiny. As Mufasa walked through the crowd of animals, he picked up a familiar scent and reunited with his mother, who had survived the flood from his childhood. He asked what had happened to his father, and she revealed that he had perished in the flood. The animals then questioned what would become of Taka the traitor, and Mufasa decided to let him remain in Miali, though he refused to speak his brother's name ever again. Accepting Mufasa's decision, Taka suggested that he be called Scar from then on, as a reminder of what he had done. With the animals watching, Mufasa ascended the newly formed Pride Rock and roared over his kingdom. After Rafiki finished his story about Mufasa, Kiara finally found the bravery she needed to climb to the top of the cave and roar over the Pride Lands. As she did so, the storm cleared, and she spotted her parents approaching in the distance. Once she had reunited with them, they introduced her to her brother, to whom she told the story of Mufasa.